Hey guys, we're gonna try something different. I've been playing way too much Silent Hill recently. We've had a rough past few days. Tony Todd died yesterday, the man was a legend. I figured we could all use something light for a change. So, we're gonna play Crash Bandicoot, the Insane Trilogy. All 3 games. I'm not gonna do all the different gems and keys for the first game. We're just gonna play straight throughout until the final boss. So, let's get to it. Start a new game. Yeah, we're just gonna go for a nice breezy adventure.
But
Not trying to get everything in the game.
We haven't determined the cause of past failures.
Moron! This Bandicoot will be my general, and he will lead my Cortex commandos to world domination. This time, I shall reign triumphant. We are closer than ever before. Quickly, into the vortex.
Dr. Cortex, the vortex is not ready. We have no idea what it could do.
Failure again. Capture him!
Uh-oh.
Prepare the female Bandicoot.
Those cinematics were really well done. Yeah, compared to the original game where they pretty much just tossed you right into the beach if you skip the cutscenes. So, Crash Bandicoot 1, where do I begin? I first got this game many years ago. It was actually the first game my parents ever bought me for the PlayStation 1. Pretty much we got the PlayStation 1, which came with a demo disc for various games. It was one of those PlayStation Jam Pack demo discs. Actually, I think it was called the PlayStation Sampler. And it had Crash Bandicoot and a whole bunch of games on it. Demos for those games and some videos. We had some videos for stuff like Twisted Metal 2. But Crash was the first actual game we got for it. And I remember we actually went over to Little Caesars after this. I think Little Caesars is now closed. So we got the PlayStation 1. I don't remember where I bought it from. Probably Funkoland. And then after that we went over and got some pizza at Pizza Hut. And I went home and started playing the game. I'd already played the demo by the time I got the first game. Yeah, we already died. Wow, that sucks. I'm not gonna be able to get all the gems right there. So obviously the game was pretty good at first, but what I first noticed was obviously the increasing difficulty as we went along playing the game. Because you all know Crash 1 becomes a very hard game the further you get into it. So I'm pretty sure some kids must have been shocked that Christmas when they received Crash 1 and it looked like a fun platformer and we didn't realize exactly just how hard it was going to be. Okay, so we actually did get all the boxes. Cool. Yeah, Crash 1 is no joke. And when they redid this for the remasters, remakes, whatever you want to call this, they kept the difficulty. So even though you have some new help, you know, you can still get the gems if you die. Which you can't in the original. In the original, if you fail once, it's over. Like, you can't get all the boxes. You pretty much just have to run perfect throughout the whole thing. This is actually a DLC level they added to the game, Stormy Ascent. It's kinda tough actually. I do not recommend playing that level until you've completed the whole game, and even then, it's the type of level you only finish it once and then never play it again, because it'll easily take you at least 30 to 50 tries to actually beat that level. It's that level of hard. I remember having some very frustrated days with Crash Bandicoot 1. It was not an easy game at all, and I don't think I ever fully 100%ed it. Because in order to get 100%, you have to complete the Cortex and Nitrous Brio tokens, which are nearly impossible on that version of the game. Because you can't die even once. And those are pretty much trial and error, which means you're gonna be dying a lot. So unless you have like the absolute perfect luck, it's you only get one chance. And not only that, the levels the tokens are on are some of the hardest in the game. Sunset Vista, another temple level. I think one is in Jaws of Darkness, which is pretty hard. So yeah, they are no joke. So it is very unlikely to get 100% on that version of the game on the PS1 unless you're a master player, which I definitely am not. This is actually the level that is on the PS1 demo, the sampler disc. It's actually this one, Jungle Rollers. But the difference is they put all the gems there automatically. So you see here, you see the invisible platform because it's not fully formed. It's already actually fully formed on the sampler disc. I guess just to give people a taste of what the game is like. So I was surprised when I loaded up the game and it realized that you didn't automatically have those gems floating around everywhere. You actually have to work for them. There we go, we got the 3 bonus level tokens. I'm also trying out a new setting for the microphone. I usually use ducking to make sure my voice can be heard. Make sure that the game audio doesn't overpower it because I have a very low sounding voice. So I'm actually trying it without ducking for the first time just to see how it sounds. So ducking is when the Elgato software or whatever you're recording, OBS, whatever, automatically lowers the game audio whenever you speak, as to make sure your voice can be heard. But the downside of that is that it can sound a bit unbalanced if you don't do it properly. But like I said, since my voice is naturally very low, I prefer to use that for most games. So I've never really tried it without that feature before. But I'm trying it now. Yeah, we missed 3. Those are the ones upstairs. You can't get those until you get the green gem. I think if enough boxes fall on his head, he actually flattens to the ground. They can knock him out. Boy, remember when you played this game on the PS1 and you can save either using memory card or passwords? Because that was back, I think that was the very first console that had actually memory cards, right? I don't think any other console had memory cards before that. Certainly none that I can remember. So basically, yeah, if you didn't have a memory card, you had to save using password. It's pretty much the same on the Super NES. The way you save was by using passwords if the game didn't have a save feature. Like X-Men Mutant Apocalypse, which is one of my favorite Super NES games, does not have a save feature. All it has is passwords, so you gotta either take a photo of that or write it down somewhere, because otherwise you're not gonna be able to save the game. And that's definitely a game you can't beat in one sitting unless you're really familiar with it. There's just a lot of levels you have to learn. Same thing for Mega Man. I think Mega Man X only has passwords on it, right? It doesn't have a save feature. That will come later. I know that Mario games do have save features. Because they even added it to the Mario games that were in the Mario All-Stars collection. This was always one of the tougher levels when I was younger, simply because it's so long. Like the gate levels in this game are very, very long compared to the other ones, so it is very easy to just make a little mistake here and there. Oh damn! See, like that's a good example right there. You think the invincibility is gonna last the whole section, and it really doesn't. Like I said, I'm not gonna do every single gem or even the keys in the game because we have a whole bunch of videos, probably like 70 of them from long ago when this game first came out. The remake / remasters that I actually did get every single thing in the game, but it took a long time and I was fed up by the game. I was fed up with the game by the time we did it. Because it's just a very difficult game to complete, especially once you get to those high road levels. Those are the worst. The high road, the road to nowhere. Those levels are not cool. They are the worst in the entire game, so I gotta upload that sometime. So this is very daunting because there's literally like 75 videos of them. From all my repeated attempts over and over to get all the stuff, so I don't know how the hell I'm ever gonna upload all that stuff. One thing I do appreciate about this game though is because it is a platformer, the levels go by quickly. So I'm guessing the recordings are actually going to be much shorter than my Silent Hill videos. Just because there's a much quicker pace to the game. How awesome was this back in 1995, 1996? You know, the Indiana Jones level, running away from the giant boulder. Or boulders. I believe they added relics to this version of the game, didn't they? I know 2 and 3. Obviously 3 started the whole thing, so 3 has them here. 2 also has them. I believe 1 has them too, doesn't it? I think it was a trophy for getting all the relics in the game. I'll tell you though, Indiana Jones never had to run from multiple boulders at the same time. It was always just the one. There we go, we got the gem. So this game should go by pretty quickly since we're not looking for everything. Doesn't that hurt when he bites his tongue like that? Like you saw in the mural behind him? I've also have to finish Crash 4 eventually. I was trying to get that game done, but the thing is, that game is very, very difficult. The further in you get, the more difficult it gets. And you might think, duh, that's the way all games function, but no, that game is actually quite a challenge. I've heard it said by multiple videos that it is nearly impossible to platinum. And just from what I played of that game, I can definitely tell that's one game that I'll never platinum. It's just way too difficult. And I don't have the necessary skills anymore to actually get the platinum for that one. Maybe one time I did. Back when I was younger, my fingers were more dexterous. Not anymore. I just do not have the literal physical skill anymore to make the complicated jumps that you have to. So that game is going to stay incomplete for the most part. I'll go back and finish the story eventually after I'm done with Silent Hill and Alan Wake and all that stuff, and we have some free time, but I'm never going to platinum that game. It's too hard. One difference they made between the original and this version, you can see there in the original the purple plants were the ones that were constantly snapping, but here you can see you get a lot less downtime for the red one. In the original I think it was like 6 to 10 seconds that you could stay on that plant for a long time and it wouldn't snap. Now it does. You can only stay on it for like 5 seconds at most, maybe even 4, and then it'll just crash up the moment you touch it. See right there? You barely get any downtime anymore. In the original, I think it lasted for almost like 10 seconds that you could stand on that plant and not be eaten. So they made some minor changes here and there in addition to some quality of life improvements. This is a fun game to play when you're not concentrated on getting every single thing. I think it's when you try to go after that 100% trophy or 100% completion in general, that's when it gets frustrating. That's when it really starts to show its nasty side. I think if you're just playing it for fun on a casual, you know, on a casual attitude, it can be pretty fun. It's a pretty great platformer. But if you try to complete it 100%, that's when it gets insanely frustrating. It's funny how it says the machine said it was rejected because Crash wasn't good enough for his experiments, and yet Crash destroys his entire army basically. So maybe Cortex shouldn't have rejected the good old Bandicoot. Maybe it would have been his greatest soldier, because Crash just destroys basically his entire army of animals there. One thing you really have to appreciate this game is also the detail they put into it. Like originally Papu Papu just looked like a fat man wearing like that mask. I don't think you can even see his eyes. He certainly didn't have any tattoos or anything like that, so they definitely put a lot of detail into it, which I appreciate. I don't think Vicarious Visions is around anymore, are they? I think they... Did they go bankrupt or were they bought out by someone? I don't remember. Or were they shut down? You can see there his ass crack too. I don't think that was as visible in the original PS1 version. I think it just looked like just a random line. And also the HUD is very nicely designed too. A lot of detail in it. One thing I also appreciate is that they did not change the bosses in this. They kept them pretty much one-to-one, exactly the same. Because these bosses are actually pretty good. They're simplistic, but they're good. You know, Crash 1 is a simple game, so it just tests your mastery of what you learned so far, which isn't much. There's the Coco's level, Coco's time machine. You can actually switch over to her. Should we do it just for one level or not? Got Rolling Stones. Yeah, let's do it for one level. We're just gonna switch over to her. And then we'll switch back to Crash. Okay, so we can press R2 to switch. So she's traveled back in time to help us, so we're gonna give one good level with her. I don't know why she carries her laptop everywhere though. I guess it's just to distinguish her from Crash, but it seems like that could break very easily. So she plays exactly the same as Crash, so there's literally no difference between her and him. It's the whole Mario and Luigi thing, they play exactly the same for the most part. Ah, damn. Yeah, they play exactly the same in most Mario games. The exception would obviously be Mario Bros. 2. And then I think in some versions of Mario, either Mario World or Mario Bros. 3, he has like a little floating jump that he can do, but they largely play the same. It's the same thing here. There's literally no difference between Crash and Coco other than the palette swap. So we hear elephants, but we never see them in the series. That would have been pretty cool to actually see some elephants in here. Or in another Crash game. Now you want to be careful here. There is a Nitrous Brio token in the middle. Actually, I think it's this one. There it is. You want to get it before you blow up the TNT crates, because otherwise you can't get the token. It'll just blow up along with the crates. I don't remember which are harder, the Nitrous Brio tokens or Cortex. I think it might be Brio, because I think Cortex are actually slightly easier. Even though he's the main villain, his levels I think are actually slightly easier than God damn it. Than Nitrous Brios. Yeah, can you tell I have not played this game in a long time? The last time I was playing was probably on the Switch. I bought it for both. I bought it for PS4 and also the Switch, so I could play it. Actually, I could let someone else play it. That way they didn't have to drag the PS4 into the living room. One sad thing though is that they haven't given this game a 60 FPS upgrade on the PS5. It's still just the same old regular one, so if you install it right now, there's no upgrade at all. It just stays at 30 FPS. Although I will say it does run pretty smoothly at 30 FPS. You don't even notice that it's lower frame rate. I'm actually going to try out Silent Hill 2 Remake's quality mode after I'm done with the current playthrough, because I want to see just how well it's done throughout the whole game. I tested out a little bit of it. Wasn't overly impressed with the frame rate, but at the same time I only did just like literally like just the first couple minutes of the game, like the beginning few minutes. That's all I tested out with quality mode. So I'm gonna do the whole game like that just to see the difference between that and the performance mode. But I wish they would give an upgrade for this, because this would definitely benefit from, you know, from getting an upgrade to 60 FPS. The game already plays plenty smooth. Just imagine how much smoother it would be if it did get a PS5 upgrade. I think it's just sheer laziness, because they could do that easily. So here we go. There's always a gimmick to the Nitrous Brio levels. And we don't have the sliding jump here, so you gotta just time it correctly. Damn, see? Exactly like that is exactly what you're not supposed to do. Fortunately, it does save the tokens here, because in the original, if you did it once and failed, you were done. You got one shot at it, no more. That's it. And as you can see, it is trial and error, so it can take you a lot of attempts to get it if you're not familiar with it. There we go, we got through that part. Damn. It's such a short stretch of a level there. You see, it's not even more than just 3 or 4 platforms, but the challenge is the TNT crates. And stuff like that, just mistiming your jumps, that's the way you can get into trouble. So imagine if you were trying to do that level in the original, and you made one mistake. You pretty much had to go back and see what I mean? You pretty much had to go back and just do the whole level, the whole main level again until you got all the tokens. You couldn't die, not even once, and then you had to do this perfectly too. So it was quite annoying. You want to stay clear of the blast radius too, because that blast radius is larger than you think. And also right there, if you head straight into Nitrous Brio, he will blow you up with the test tubes. Those are the explosive tubes he uses in his boss fight, so that he will blow you up right there. So that's another thing too. I think that was also in the original. Imagine if you got all the way to the end, miraculously, and you got there, and then he just blew you up and you have to start the whole thing all over again. Kids would have been pissed, I imagine. We missed 6 boxes. I think those are in a gem downstairs. So it's not something we can get at the moment. I don't remember if Cortex kills you or not in his levels. There you see the time trials. We could try one just to see if we can get it. Maybe later. Let's see. We got Hog Wild. Should we just... oh, we can't we can't have Coco ride the hog. I was gonna say, should we just let her ride it once? But no, it has to be Crash. Which kind of sucks. You'd think they let you do it, but I guess they just didn't want to animate her properly for that. One thing that does bug me is the thumbs up animation he does here. Before, what he would do is he would just turn back and waggle his eyebrows, and it looked really impressive on the PS1 at the time. Here he just kind of gives you like a thumbs up, and it always bugged me that they changed that little detail. I think the eyebrow waggle had a bit more character to it than just a regular thumbs up, because he did it multiple times. I didn't understand what those giant things were that you jump off of when I first played the game way back then as a young kid. I didn't realize they were just giant drums, you know, that they play music on. I thought that was just random platforms there in the jungle. Look at all those pigs that are roasting. There we go. We got all 24 boxes. Yeah, it would have been cool to see Coco riding the hog. How did he store that in his ear? Crash is a wacky character. He just defies the laws of physics and reality, even by Mario standards, or Sonic. Okay, so we did one with Coco, so we're gonna swap back to Crash. There we go, Native Fortress. These are all the ones I've done. This is where I left off last time when I was playing this game on the PS4. 88% Cortex power. You can see Crash getting electrocuted there. And this is Stormy Ascent, so this is all the stuff we did. This is, as you can see, 104%. That was always a unique little touch about the Crash games. You didn't get 100%, you got 101, 102, 104%. I think it was 102 originally, and then they added Stormy Ascent, and now it's 104%. So yeah, that's all the stuff in the game. You got 27 gems, you got 2 keys, and you got 26 relics. We're not gonna save yet though. Alright, Native Fortress. This one is actually longer than the previous level, usually featuring the gate. My question growing up when I was younger was it was always, who are these villagers? Like, do they serve Cortex or not? Or is Crash kind of just going through their territory to get to Cortex? Like, who are they? But I guess since Papu Papu is working for him, I guess they do directly serve Cortex, right? They are the native villagers of the island, but they are also in league with Cortex. Because there's no way he would have let them keep all this stuff intact unless they were with him, right? He would have just destroyed it all. I always find those plants to be a challenging enemy too sometimes, because they are way bigger than Mario World's piranha plants. The ones you find in that series, Mario Brothers, Mario World. Those piranha plants can be tough to dodge, but these are way bigger than those. They still don't walk like the ones in some Mario games. Those are the worst. The walking piranha plants. The ones that get out of their pot or their pipe or whatever and just start walking after you. I think there's a few of them in Mario Bros. 3, right? Those are the worst. But these are still pretty difficult to dodge depending on where they put them sometimes. Like Crash, oh goddamn. Crash 2 has some inconveniently placed piranha plants. That's what I'm gonna call them, piranha plants. In the sewers that can make jumping there a little tricky. I like the sewer levels in Crash 2, but they do have some difficult jumps to make there. Especially in the electrified water. Those are the ones that can really get you. So what are those bonus levels anyway? Are those pretty much Coco's attempts to escape and then Cortex just drags her back? A lot of stuff about the Crash world doesn't really make sense when you think about it. Even more so than other platformers. Because Mario pretty much has his own established rules, right? No matter how outrageous it is, where a lot of stuff in Crash is pretty much just random. I always hated these jumps because you can fall way back down to the bottom all over again. Correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't Crash 4 have like a classic mode also, where you can play the levels like they were the original Crash games, I think? I don't remember. I think it does, right? Like less help, less save spots, less save points, stuff like that, checkpoints. This is a little trick that a lot of people missed. It doesn't look as impressive now, but I remember back in the day being really impressed that you could see like the other two island levels in the background there. I always thought that was a nice touch, that you could actually see the other islands there in the background. Those fire pits are also pretty difficult to jump over sometimes. They're kind of tricky. When they get you 3 in a row, that's when you really have to time your jumps correctly. The trick is you can't linger too long on the jump, or else the fire will get you. You pretty much just have to use a standard jump there. Because depending on whether you hold down the X button or not, you can jump high, you can jump higher and further. But the thing is, it also delays your jump, so that's when you miss the third one and you just end up landing right in the fire pit. Obviously, we missed a whole bunch of boxes because we don't have the special gem yet. Yep, we missed 11 boxes, so Crash is gonna get hammered now. You can see there he was starting to buckle under the weight of all the boxes. Which do you prefer growing up, Spyro or Crash? I'd say it's pretty even 50-50, because originally I liked more the linear levels of Crash when I was younger, because it reminded me of Mario. Spyro does have a certain charm to him, but originally I preferred the linear levels of Crash. I thought they were more well done than the open world. Spyro, I think, was one of the first open world 3D platformers where you could just explore around the world and go to different sections and stuff. It still had levels, but they were less linear, way less linear than Crash or Mario or Sonic. But over the years, as I've grown to appreciate more and more that type of design, I think I actually prefer Spyro now. I think I actually prefer the more open design of Spyro. The way you can just explore around the different areas instead of just going back and forth or left and right. Spyro also has a slightly better story than Crash. Like, the first one doesn't have much besides just a nasty Nork freezing all the dragons, but Spyro 2 and 3 really go more into storytelling and showing stuff about Avalar and then the Forgotten Realms or whatever those lands were called. Yeah, it were the Forgotten Realms, weren't they? And Spyro also has a lot more variety in the gameplay. You can skateboard, you can use, you know, different abilities, you can freeze stuff, you can use super fire breath. There's just a whole bunch of stuff you can do that Crash can't. Crash just has the mask and the abilities he gains in 2 and 3. Other than that, he's pretty limited. It's not like Mario, where Mario can do everything pretty much depending on the game. Crash has a certain standard amount of abilities that he can use. Like, I don't think they ever brought back the bazooka from Crash Warp, right? I don't think they ever brought it back in another game. I used to love the bazooka. It certainly made it playing a lot easier, but it also made it a lot cooler too. I mean, you can just take out enemies from a long distance with the bazooka. And it fires Wumpa fruit. So it's a pretty cool weapon to Crash to get his hands on, but I don't think they ever brought it back after 3, right? I don't remember Wrath of Cortex having that, and I certainly haven't seen it in Crash 4, so I don't think they ever brought it back, right? I don't know about Twinsanity because I never went back to finish that game, but I don't think any other game ever had the bazooka, right? It was just Crash Warped. You got it after you beat Engine. And then the final gift there from like Cortex was the running shoes. Boy, that was a change right there. The running shoes to get the relics, those were fun. Insanely frustrating, but also fun. So it wouldn't be a video of mine without mentioning the golf that's going on. I'm playing in Mexico. Once again, Nico Echevarria's in the lead. That guy's starting to pick up steam, so once again I bet him. I always bet him way too late to get the really good price on him. He was 51 earlier, then he went down to 30, and then he went down to 12. I bet him at 12. But yeah, I like the Latin American and South American golfers. They have character. They're not just bland, boring guys like our American golfers for the most part. They have some unique characters to them. So hopefully, yeah, he wins. But if not, I also got a couple others under him. Grazerman, Cooch, Koosher, Ripperoo. I remember someone saying it would have been interesting if they had let you play as Ripperoo in Crash 4. I think they mentioned it like suggestions for the next Crash game if they remake one. I can see it, I guess. Ripperoo is kind of a fun character. I always like playing as him in Crash Team Racing. He was always a fun one to play there. Now this is the convenience spot because you can just hide here and completely avoid his attacks. The key is always to target him with the with the TNT boxes. But it's a bit tricky. You gotta know exactly when to trigger the TNT. Because once you step on them, they stop moving. There you go. We also never see these big TNT boxes God damn it. Anywhere else in the series, right? I don't think we ever see the big TNT boxes. It's always just stacked TNT. And then they introduced the Nitro crates in the second game. What is he supposed to be anyways? Is he like some type of dog? And he's always in a straight jacket too. They had that fun cutscene of his in Crash Team Racing, the original one, where he's reading the driving manual and he's reading it backwards. Or upside down rather with his feet. Okay, so this is a bit trickier. Alright, I think we got him now. There we go. And he's finished. Not dead, because he never dies. I don't think any of Crash's enemies ever actually die. That's also something new they added there, where he fell over the waterfall. Originally, he just kind of passed out on the platform. There, he actually falls over. But again, he doesn't die, because none of them ever die. It's like K. Rool in Donkey Kong. He just keeps going back over and over. But each time he comes back, he's lost a rank. So originally, he would come back like as originally he was like a king. And then he got demoted to captain, and then by the time you get to Donkey Kong Country 3, he's just barren. All he has is just one single castle where he's doing his experiments, like Baron von Frankenstein. Okay, so we're gonna do the Lost City because we have movie night after this, so we're gonna do the Lost City, and that'll be it for this video because we're moving pretty fast throughout the levels, way faster than I expected. And this is a long one, so that'll be a good dropping off point. That's a good place to leave off for tomorrow. Yeah, after this I gotta start posting on my Silent Hill 2 hard playthrough. Hopefully that one gets significantly more views because there's no commentary on it, it's just straight up gameplay. Hard mode is no joke, I'll tell you that right now. For Silent Hill 2 Remake, it is no joke. Very difficult, very easy chance of dying. I've died at least like probably 20 times in the game. I don't know if 30 is too much, but I definitely had my fair share of deaths. Just from getting hit by the nurses or spit on by the spitter enemies or the mannequins, etc. All you gotta do is just miscalculate one single attack and you're finished. Assuming you haven't healed up using the nutrition drinks. This level is also made very memorable on the original PS. God damn it! Yeah, we can't get the token anymore. So actually, I think I'm gonna restart this one because I completely missed I missed the token there, so we can no longer get it. I mean, we could go back and get it, but now we don't have the first mask, so I think I just restart. Get that mask. So I think there's 3 masks in this level, I think. So I just want to get the token without losing the mask. The one thing I always remember about this level on the PS1 is how gorgeous it looked. This was definitely one of the better looking levels in the game originally. I remember being extremely impressed by them, like this Indiana Jones style temple. Never seen that in a platformer before until that time, because obviously Donkey Kong Country had the temple levels, but they weren't nearly as detailed as this. Obviously, those were Super Nintendo levels, so this was a whole new world to explore. Yeah, like remember back those early days of the PS1 when we were all so awed, and we were like, how can it get better than this? Like, look at these graphics. Look at the graphics, how lifelike it all looks. Even though back then, like, Solid Snake didn't even have eyes or a mouth, they just had squiggly lines on the faces. But we were kids, we were just not easily impressed, but at the same time, like, we had never seen anything like that before. The stuff that 3D games were showing us. So it was quite impressive. I remember being extremely wowed by Soul Reaver and how gorgeous that game looked. So that's a little tricky jump right there. You want to time it so you can jump on the... Ah, come on. See, that's exactly what you want to avoid. You want to time it so you can jump on the platform without getting hit, so... There we go, that's what you should have done. We still got the token, but we lost the mask, unfortunately, so we're gonna have to finish the level without it. It just helps to have like an extra hit point, especially here where you're jumping over here and you can easily land on the fire. It helps to have that extra hit point, especially when you have to hit that switch right there. That's the one you wanna try to avoid the fire, because it is very easy to land on that fire right there. This level was also a change from Donkey Kong or Mario, because it was just way longer than any of those levels. I don't think we ever had a Mario or Donkey Kong level that was quite this long before. So this was some epic stuff, just this epic ascent up across like the temple. You want to avoid killing those right away, because some of them do help you break some boxes, and if you kill them right away you can't reach them. But not that one. That was just a plain old enemy. there's difficulties to get there, but then I think in the second level that's like this, there's like a box that you have to hit, and you can only hit it using using the chameleon that's jumping right there, or the lizard, whatever that thing is. God damn, fell all the way down. Yeah, so you don't want to kill some of those enemies right away because they do help you reach some spots that you otherwise can't reach. Afterwards, a movie night in between movies, gonna watch the Penguin show. It's pretty good. Like, the Penguin's never been my favorite Batman villain ever. Ooh, we dodged the bullet right there. He's never been my favorite Batman villain, but the show's actually pretty good. Even though I usually don't like crime shows like that to begin with, it's pretty good so far. I wonder how it's gonna fare with no Batman, because obviously he's not gonna appear throughout the whole season, because the show's not a focus on him, it's a focus on the Penguin. And apparently Bruce might have left Gotham City for a while too. Probably to get more training, maybe, to help him deal with all the stuff that went down in the Batman film. But that means that it's focused solely on the Penguin. He kind of does pursue you a bit. Those are some huge bats too. God damn, they're the size of actual Crash. Reminds me of that cutscene in Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom, where who is it? Willie Scott is pointing out at the things flying in the sky. She says something like, "Look at all those birds," and Indiana Jones says like, "Those aren't birds, honey. Those are giant vampire bats." Oh, he says, "Sweetheart, those aren't birds, sweetheart. Those are those giant vampire bats." See, they're right there. You can't reach that box without them. So if you miscalculate your jump, you're pretty much screwed. You have to just die and reset the level, start over again. The save points do help out a lot though. I think there's way more checkpoints here than there ever were before in the original. Yeah, that was never gonna work out. You have to get on top of the boxes, because otherwise you just kind of get stuck between the bottom row and the top row and you're pretty much screwed. God damn. See if we can get it. Yeah, we're just gonna break the top row. Doesn't matter. This is also a much better change from the original, because in the original, I believe these boxes had 8 or 9 fruit inside them. So that was the amount of times you can jump on them. Oh damn. That cost us the 2 lives. So you were never really sure of how many times you had jumped on them, or when they were gonna break. I think some had more, some had less. They did keep the feature where if you jump once on them, the second time you jump on them, they break. You know, if you kind of jump to another box and you don't go back to it right away, they do break. Get rid of this guy. We're almost done. There we go. 82 out of 82, nice. Yeah, so you don't want to kill those guys right away on certain occasions. You want to make sure to look at where they're jumping to see where you have to use them to reach a certain box or not. Wait a second, why did it not give me the gem? It says 82 out of 82. Well, I guess because it gives it to you inside. I'm confusing it with Crash 2, where they give you the gem right away. Oh, because we died. Oh, that sucks. Oh, okay, because I remember, I think they said this is the one area where, oh yeah, because it's a special gem, it's the green gem. Okay, that's why they didn't give it to us, because we died. They'll give you the white gems, the ordinary gems, they'll give you those, even if you die, but the green ones has to be just one straight run throughout the level, so... Lesson noted. We'll get it next time. Because that one actually lets us go back in Jungle Rollers and get those boxes at the top, so I always get the green gem. So let's save. I'm gonna save right here. And we have 27%. So we did a pretty good chunk of the game. Got 72 lives. Holy crap. It is very easy to accumulate lives in this game. Much easier than in the original. Way easier. Those checkpoints and being able to save actually really help out a lot. We only got 3 gems so far. No keys or relics, but we'll work on some of that stuff later. And like I said, we're not going to do every single thing there is to do in the game. That's not the point. But you can see here, we're pretty much breezing throughout the entire levels. It's going by very quickly, so we can do some of the extra stuff next time. But yeah, we're going to continue this to probably tomorrow. Because I want to have these videos on hand so I can upload them in between the Silent Hill stuff, so there's not just all one giant Silent Hill stream on the channel, because that's pretty much all it's been lately, just nothing but Silent Hill over and over again. Broken up at the occasional Alan Wake or Astrobot videos, so I want to upload different stuff so there's not just all Silent Hill all the time, because I'm going to be playing that game for a long time in the next few weeks, so I want to make sure there's something different to break up the tedium. And also it's just plain fun to play. These games are always fun to go back and revisit. Older style platformers like this, like they never really lose their fun factor. They're always fun to go back and play them all over again, because they're just very well made, very fun to play, and it's a great game that everybody can pretty much enjoy. You know, you don't have to be a kid to like Crash, and you know, you can like it as much as you did before, even as an adult. It's the same with Spyro. Anybody of any age can enjoy a good session of Spyro. You know, compared to, like, say, a game like Silent Hill 2, where it's definitely for adults only. And even then, there are sometimes when you'd rather not play, you know, an ultra serious game like that. Sometimes you just want to play a fun platformer type game. So yeah, this is definitely fun playing through all these levels again. So we're gonna keep going with it. Like I said, we'll play some more tomorrow. That's it for now. Thank you for watching. I will see you again probably very soon on Crash Bandicoot 1 from the Sane Trilogy on the PS4. See you later.